This lesson we're going to be covering how you can hide sheets, unhide sheets, and also protect, and how you can protect sheets and ranges within Google Spreadsheets. If you don't want people to change content in your spreadsheet, then you can add protection to it so that you can protect a particular sheet or a specific range within the sheet. So let's go ahead and we're going to create a copy of the sheet, and then we're going to protect this one. That will prevent users from being able to update the content within the protected sheet or range. So going under the Data tab at the top, there's an option where you can select the protected sheets and ranges. So make a selection of that. In order to protect a range, click the range to protect. So if, for instance, you want it to protect the name and this range of names, you select it within the view area and then click the Add a Sheet or Range. You can enter in a description, and this will protect a range, and it'll give you the protected range down here. So it will be protecting B2 to B11. Once you've selected the range and you've given it a name, you can set the permissions, and that will allow you to restrict who can edit this range. You can also set to show a warning when editing this range, and you can add editors as well. It'll give you the list of the current users who can edit the document, and from here you can unselect them if you don't want them to have the permission to edit that range. You can't uncheck the current user, so you can't restrict yourself with the current account from editing the range. You can also select the warnings when this is being edited, and once you hit done, that will change the values, and now if anyone tries to make an edit, it's going to prop up this message that says that we're trying to edit content that is within a protected range. You can hit cancel, and that will revert the cell back to the original, or you could hit OK and accept the changes on that range. In order to protect a sheet, you select the Data Protected Range. That's going to open up the pop-up window where once again you can select either a range or you can select a sheet. It gives you the option of the two sheets that I currently have within the spreadsheet. I'm going to select the protected sheet. You can also accept certain cells. So if you want to keep certain cells within the sheet editable, then you can select those cells in order to select the range. So select the range finder and then highlight the range within the spreadsheet. You can have multiple ranges, so you can add additional ranges that can be edited within the sheet. Once you've completed the ranges and added the ranges that can be edited in the sheet, just hit OK. And from there you can set the permissions. And once again, we get the option to set a warning or restrict the edit to particular users. And we can customize this as well with the users, and we can also add additional users if needed. So once we've completed this pop-up window where the range editing permissions, we hit done, and that's going to make the changes to that protected range. So if you do want to open that and if you want to make any updates to it, you can select the protective ranges, and then from here you can select those ones that you've protected. If you want to change the permissions, you can also restrict. So I'm going to remove my other account and then I'll log in and I'll show you that it is now protected. And I'll also update this other one here where I'm selecting, and I'll remove out that other account completely from there. Now going into the other tab where I've logged into my second account, let's see what happens if I try to make some updates. It tells me this error message that there was a problem. You're trying to edit a protected cell or object. Please contact the spreadsheet owner to remove the protection. So you're not actually able to make any changes to it. So even if you select it, if you try to make any changes or edits to it, you're going to get that pop-up window. So that's what the others are going to be able to see if they try to edit content that you're protecting. Now there's another option to set the protection on the sheet. So you can select it from the sheet tab at the bottom, and there's a drop down here with a pop-up menu where you can select the protect the sheet, and this will open up that same window by default going right to the sheet with the sheet selected, and then from here you can enter in a description. I'm just going to call it Pro 2, and we'll set the permissions on the entire sheet and protect that sheet as well from others trying to access it. So if the other account tries to use it, they're going to once again get the pop-up window that's saying that they're not allowed to make any edits to that content. So that's how you can protect a range or a sheet. And the person that can do the protection is the one that owns the spreadsheet. If you can edit a spreadsheet, you can decide who can edit the ranges and sheets, but you can't take permissions away from the owner. So permissions should be set by the owner of the spreadsheet, but the editor as well has an option to set the permissions. So if we were to select the sheet, so if we want to remove it, we can select the protect sheets and range, and we can select the delete to the right of the name, and that will allow us to remove the protections on the sheet. So now going into the second account, I can add in protections, but I can't protect the sheet from the owner. So if I added it in to protect it, so I'll call it Pro 5, set the permissions, I'm not able to actually remove the owner because this account is just an editor and it's not the owner. So the permissions can be set, but they can only be set and they always have to include the owner. So the owner can never be removed from protection and from editing their own content. So let's go back and I'll delete that and go back to the main account. So changing the tab back to the main account. You can also hide sheets from view. So going down to the sheet and selecting the drop down, you can select the hide sheet. So now the sheet is now going to be hidden and all editors of the spreadsheet can view and unhide the sheet. So once the other person comes in, they're not going to see the sheets down here at the bottom, but if they do want to view the sheet, and the same thing for the main account, if you go to view and hidden sheets, then you can show the hidden sheet. Because this sheet was actually hidden by the owner, they can select view and then show the sheet once again. And then the other account as well will be able to see the sheet. They can select the sheet and hide it. But if they don't have if this is a protected sheet, they're not going to be able to hide it from the owner. So the same as editing it, they're not going to be able to hide it. And because sheet 1 isn't protected, they are able to hide it. If the owner goes in and they go under view, I'll just refresh that and then go under view. We can see the hidden sheet and then we can show that hidden sheet. So that way you can hide and show sheets as needed and also do the protection and the protected ranges as needed within Google Sheets.